hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you started to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Should we get this show on the road, guys? I hope we can, guys, because here we go. We go. We're here. How about that, guys? We're on the air. Emergency Management Associates is on the air. It is only 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We're just a little bit late. I'm sorry about that, but I want to make sure we had all our ducks in a row before we went on the air. Guys, we're going to be talking primarily about what is happening up in the Pacific Northwest today. That's primarily where we're going today. However, we're not going to stop talking about earthquakes. That's going to happen. But tonight, our primary focus is on the Pacific Northwest. I'm just briefly going over here to the USGS map here. So please give us some leeway here. I want to show you what is exactly going on, a little bit around the world, and then we're going back to talk about the storms in the Pacific Northwest, because there's a lot of stuff going on and people's lives are in danger. That's where we are here. We talk about people's lives in danger. Let's go down here to the Southern Pacific Islands, over here near Samoa today, right here. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here. I'm sorry, let's take down our EMA banner. Let's take down our webcam as well. Over here in the South Pacific here. Apparently you guys aren't even showing it here. There it is right there. Sorry about that. Right here in the South Pacific. This near the island of Samoa. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. This is a 4.7 earthquake. This is 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. 10 kilometers deep here, guys. Out to the southwest here, over in Fiji. This is a 4.4 earthquake here. This is a 4.4 earthquake here in Fiji. Now, guys, we told you that we would be having these earthquakes. Okay, this is a deep earthquake. Let me bring this up in kilometers and let's show you how deep it was. Okay, this is kilometers. Okay, this is 563 kilometers deep. This is a very deep earthquake. As a result of this earthquake, we're going to add 1.2 to the magnitude of this. Why? Because this 4.4 earthquake is going to birth or propagate a larger, shallower earthquake. This earthquake is going to birth a 5.6 earthquake. A 5.6 earthquake in the coming days, probably sometime in the next 3 to 10 days. Sometime in the next 3 to 10 days, we're going to have another 5.4, not a 4.4, but a larger 5.4 earthquake. That earthquake could be in this region, in the South Pacific region, reaching down to New Zealand, going over here into Fiji, Tonga, into Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, or even over here into Papua New Guinea. Okay? In some fashion or form, this earthquake can actually reach over here to Chile and Argentina. It hasn't happened in a while, but it has happened in the past. Okay, that has happened. Let's return down here in the South of Fiji Islands here. This actually closer to southwest of Huma Tonga, Houma Tonga. This is a 4.8 earthquake. This is a shallow earthquake. 10.2 kilometers, basically 10.0 kilometers, 6.2 miles deep. Shallow earthquake. 4.8. Moderate earthquake. Okay, this is 164 kilometers southwest of Huma Tonga. Further southwest, this is a 4.8 southwest of Tonga. This is a very deep earthquake as well. 519 kilometers deep. Let's take a look at where this is, okay? Let's take a look at where this is and how deep this earthquake is going to take us, okay? Let's go down to our depth of magnitude conversion chart here, okay? Right here. 519 kilometers deep, guess what? $519, we're going to add 1.07. Actually, no, we're going to add 1.04, 1.04 to this earthquake. 1.04 to this earthquake. This earthquake is also going to propagate a 6.0 earthquake. This earthquake is going to propagate a 6.0 very strong earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. 3 to 10 days, guys. That's a huge earthquake. 6.0 is a very strong earthquake. Sometime in the next 3 to 10 days, this earthquake is going to propagate a larger, more shallow quake, being a very strong 6.0, 6.2 earthquake. Okay? That again could happen in this region here, going all the way down to New Zealand here. Could happen in this region here between Fiji and Tonga. Over here to the Legacy Islands to the west. Over here to Vanuatu to the northwest. And even over into Solomon Islands or Papua New Guinea as well. Can happen. Can happen. Over here. This is the Solomon Islands here. This is a 5.3 earthquake, 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles deep, very shallow earthquake. Large shallow earthquake. This is 209 kilometers southeast of Kira Kira, Solomon Islands. This earthquake, as all the other earthquakes, are far enough away from any islands or human civilization where it was not going to be felt by anybody. The ocean waters absorb the shock waves of this quake. Okay, over here further west. Again, this is in Papua New Guinea, near Panguna, Papua New Guinea. Okay, look at this. It's off pretty much on this island here. Okay, 73 kilometers south of Panguna, Papua New Guinea. Okay, now I don't believe anybody felt this earthquake. This is a moderate earthquake. Nobody felt this earthquake. It's also a very shallow earthquake, 35 kilometers deep. If this was on land, here, and anybody was occupying any of the islands here, they may have felt something. Moderate earthquake, people feel those. But I don't believe anybody near here felt this earthquake. Okay? I don't think anybody felt this earthquake at all. Okay? Far enough off the beaten path here, nobody felt that earthquake. Let's go over here further to the west here. Look at this. 36 earthquakes have hit here in Indonesia. We're not even showing one earthquake here. Not one. Okay? I've watched all day long. From the time I went to bed, and I was watching it then until now. Yes, I went to bed after midnight last night. But and then until now, we have had 36 earthquakes. USGS is not showing any of them here. Okay? We've had earthquakes over here in southern Sumatra, earthquakes over here in central Sumatra, earthquakes over here in Java, Indonesia, going over here into eastern Java here in the Banda Sea. We've had earthquakes here in north central Indonesia up here. We've had earthquakes over here in the Philippines. Look at this. They're not showing any earthquakes at all near Mindanao, Philippines, the largest island in the south of the Philippines. They're showing one earthquake right here, near Talaga, Philippines here. Okay? Talaga, Philippines. Now, guys, this is off the southern shore of Luzon, Philippines. The largest island in the north of the Philippines, right here. Just off the southern shore here. Okay? This is a 4.4 earthquake, 10 kilometers deep. People felt this 4.4 earthquake, but imagine this. Again, this is a moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. They knock pictures off of shelves. They knock knickknacks and books off of shelves, off of pictures off of walls, and they rattle dishes and cupboards. These people here in the Philippines don't have that much money. Okay? They really don't. They live in thatched huts. In some cases, when it's a bigger city, they have apartment buildings and such, but here they live in thatched huts. Okay? A 4.4 earthquake can do damage, moderate damage. This was just barely 1 mile, 2 kilometers southeast of Talaga, Philippines. Even though this is offshore, I believe these people near Talaga, Philippines felt this earthquake. Again, moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. And in this neck of the woods, these people don't have much money at all. 4.4 moderate earthquakes can cause moderate damage. They can destroy people's lifestyles here in the Philippines. Okay? That's here in the Philippines. Now, look over here. Nothing in Southeast Indonesia here. Southeast Asia here. Nothing in India. Nothing in the Himalaya Mountains. Nothing here in Afghanistan, Tajikistan region, or Pakistan. But there are 4.0, 4.8 earthquakes here in this region. They haven't. Again, the USGS is not showing anything here. They're hardly showing anything all over Europe. Okay? Down here in southern Turkey, they're reporting a 4.1 earthquake here in southern Turkey. 8 kilometers northeast Murtaza, Turkey. 4.1 earthquake here. Okay? They're not showing any earthquakes in this region here at the Turkey-Syria border. Not showing anything here. There are 32 earthquakes in this region here. How's that possible? The simple reason is this. Back in 2023, February 3rd, 2023, there was a major earthquake here. A 9.0, 10.0 earthquake occurred in this region. It killed 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 more. When earthquakes hit in this region, still people wonder, hey, is this going to be another big one? That's what they believe. That's what they think. How would you feel if you had a major earthquake hit you in this region? If you lived here, how would you feel? How would you react? Every time another earthquake hits in this region, is this going to be another big one? You have to start asking yourself. This earthquake happened nearly 3 years ago, February 3rd, 2019. Yes, some of these earthquakes are not felt, meaning tremors 1.0 to 1.9, 2.0, 2.9. However, there are small and moderate earthquakes hitting here in the Turkey-Syria border region still. Those can be felt and they can be worrisome. Again, moderate earthquakes can do moderate damage. Again, in this region, people don't have that much money. They're very poor people, basically nomads. Okay? Yes, there's some people live in cardboard and wooden huts and houses. They don't have much money, but they're still people. They're still people. Okay? Over here in northern Turkey, right in this region here, there are over 150 earthquakes right here. Over 150 earthquakes here for about 3 months now. We've been having massive amounts of earthquakes here. By massive, I'm talking massive. Sometimes we have as many as 300 earthquakes in this region. There are over 150 earthquakes that I could count earlier today. How would you like to have that happening? Yes, for a majority part, these are tremors. However, there are again some moderate and small earthquakes here. The ground is still moving here. The ground is very moving here. That can create all kinds of hysteria. That can create all kinds of memories in people's minds of what happened. They've had a lot of 5.0, 5.5 earthquakes also. Again, USGS is not talking about it. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Down here, west of Greece here. West of Greece here. This is 59 kilometers west-southwest of Lithuania, Greece. Okay? This earthquake happened yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. It's offshore here. Offshore. I don't believe anybody felt this earthquake. It's far enough offshore that the Ionian Sea absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. But there are 18 other earthquakes here in Greece as well. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and small earthquakes throughout Greece. All over here. USGS is still not talking about it. To update you what's going on here. Okay? Over here near Naples. Okay? The Vesuvius volcano is still moving. It's still moving here. Okay? It's still steaming. All right, it's still having earthquakes here. Only the Italian meteorological agency that handles the earthquakes here knows what's going on and is telling the public. The USGS is not reporting much of anything. Vesuvius volcano is still moving, still steaming. Again, the Italian authorities, like I've been saying for about 2 months now, The Italian authorities have been evacuating people in the nearest facility, or not facility, the vicinity of Vesuvius volcano. Even the people that work here, the agencies, believe this volcano is going to erupt. Right now it's not, but we believe it's going to erupt in the near future. We believe it's going to erupt in the near future. Everybody within the sound of my voice, if you live in Italy, you need to take seriously what your authorities are saying. Follow the advice of your authorities in your area. If they tell you to evacuate, do so. Don't take the chance of being caught unaware when the earthquake hits. When a 5.0 earthquake hits near Vesuvius, you can almost count on this volcano erupting. 5.0 and larger earthquakes at a volcano, the volcano is going to erupt. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared regardless of what the main agency of the world says. You need to be prepared. North central Italy, we're having earthquakes still. 22 earthquakes here today. Again, they're still not talking about it. That's a sad day. Up here in the Alps, they're having earthquakes in Austria, Switzerland, Germany. Over here in France, they're having earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes, mostly. Tremors and minor earthquakes, mostly. That's what's happening here. Also here in Spain, the same thing. Same thing. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. Okay? I want to also talk about earthquakes over here in Puerto Rico. Right here. Southwestern Puerto Rico. The furthest one offshore is right here. This is a 2.7 earthquake out here in the Caribbean Sea. Minor earthquake as it is. This earthquake is not going to put anybody on shore. For the most part, minor earthquakes are not even felt on shore. This one is offshore. This earthquake is offshore. Just a second, I got to take care of something personal business here. One of my sons keeps trying to phone his son, and I'm on a party line with all of our kids. And when he texts or calls one of us, all of our phones go haywire. So I just silenced his ringing right now because he's calling one of our sons. Going further up here into southwestern Puerto Rico. These are real earthquakes here. All of these are real earthquakes. This again is a 2.3 minor earthquake. This near southwest of Indios, Puerto Rico. Just outside Indios, Puerto Rico. This is a 2.0 in Indios, Puerto Rico here. In Indios, Puerto Rico right there. Okay. Now further to the southeast, southeast here. Right here. This is a 2.2 near Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. 2.2 earthquake. This is a 2.0 in Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. In Magas Arriba, Puerto Rico. Look where it's at. Right next to the oil and gas supply ring. A refinery here. Refinery. This is a minor earthquake. I don't believe anybody even felt this earthquake, but we're still having earthquakes here. I want to show you this because I believe it's important to understand what's going on here. Okay? Now let's go further to the west here. Okay? We talked about these two earthquakes over here. 2.0 earthquakes here. Okay? Let's go over to the west. right there. Okay, this is a 2.3. 6 kilometers, 3 miles southwest of Librerio Negro, Torres, Puerto Rico. 3 miles, 6 kilometers southwest of Librerio Negro, Torres, Puerto Rico. Okay, 6 kilometers, 3 miles. Okay, now this could be something different. This could be something different here. This is a 2.3. Again, nobody felt it. This is in a farming area. A farming area. None of these earthquakes did people feel. No felt reports. That's because they're minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes cannot be felt, except those larger 2.9s could possibly be felt by very, very sensitive people. But at 2.3, no, not at all. These are farming communities here. Farming communities here. Now, why is this important? Back in 2019, December 26th and December 28th. December 26th and December 28th. This region of Puerto Rico felt 8.0 and 8.4 major earthquakes here. 8.0 on December 26th and 8.4 on December 28th. Man-made earthquakes. Man-made earthquakes. We've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again. Okay? Yes, it could happen again. That's why we're bringing it up. Man-made earthquakes. Please do not put this abbreviation on the chat. I don't want to have this channel taken down. Please do not put this abbreviation on the chat. Back on December 26th and December 28th, a facility in Norway lit up, energized its antennas. A facility in Russia energized its antennas. A facility in northwestern Australia energized their antennas. They triangulated southwestern Puerto Rico, causing 2 major earthquakes, an 8.0 on December 26th and an 8.4 major earthquake on December 28th. That anniversary is coming very soon, in another week and a half. I don't and hope we never see this kind of activity again. I hope we never see this kind of activity ever again. It destroyed lives, it destroyed homes, it destroyed buildings all over this area. On December 28th, right down here along the coastline, there was a huge sandstone natural sculpture. Huge sandstone arch was here on the beach. The December 28th 8.4 earthquake took it down, destroyed it. That sandstone arch was just as big and just as beautiful as any of the other redstone arches in Arches National Park in Utah. Fact. Now today, because of that earthquake back in 2019, it lays and crumbles. Sandstone on the beach. Sandstone on the beach and crumbles, literally, because some elites in our society decided to light these up and gave direction to destroy Puerto Rico. And that they did. They destroyed lives. They destroyed fortunes. They destroyed buildings and other facilities throughout southwestern Puerto Rico. I hope and pray it never happens again. I hope and pray it never happens again. Out here in the Mona Passage, okay, this is a 2.93.0 earthquake. The Mona Passage is a body of water between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. This is a naturally occurring earthquake. There are fault lines here in the Mona Passage. Okay, naturally occurring earthquake here. It's a 2.93.0. If this was an occupied area, yes, some people may have felt it. But the waters here in the Mona Passage absorbed the shockwaves of this quake, and nobody felt it. Nobody felt it at all. Now over here in South or Central America, there were 22 earthquakes here. USGS is showing one here. Showing one earthquake here. Along the coastline of Nicaragua. This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. 81 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow earthquake. But people living over here along the coastline of Nicaragua felt this earthquake. Yes, it was 22 kilometers offshore, but they felt this earthquake. I believe this earthquake was actually larger than they are saying it is. Okay, on the Cocos Plate. As I said, there are a lot more earthquakes here than they're showing. They will never tell us the truth about what is exactly going on here. Never. Not going to happen. Now, there are earthquakes over here on the New Madrid Fault. They're not showing anything here. Not squat. That's sad. Earthquakes over here in Oklahoma and Texas are oil and gas fracking earthquakes. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes. This earthquake here in Oklahoma, this is near Union City, Oklahoma. 19 kilometers west of Union City. Oil and gas fracking earthquake. There are 582,000 pumps and jacks here in Oklahoma. 586,000 pumps and jacks. Guess what happened here? Look at the platforms here. The squares and the rectangles here represent pumps and jack platforms. Pump and jack platforms. Anywhere within 6 to 10 miles away from the earthquake, if there's a pump and jack platform, it's a fracking earthquake. And that's exactly what this is. 1.7 tremor here. Okay? Let me back out here. Let's go down here in southwestern Texas. Every one of these earthquakes in southwestern Texas are oil and gas related. Every one of them. Everything's bigger in Texas. There are more oil and gas platforms here in Texas than almost anywhere else in the world. Like I said, everything's bigger here in Texas. Over here. Right there. This is Stanton, Texas. Almost a year ago, we had a 5.0 earthquake here. Almost a year ago. Guess what? Now we are having swarms of earthquakes here. Swarms and swarms of earthquakes here. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes here. Okay? Let me enlarge this. I want you to see what's going on. These earthquakes are right smack dab in the middle of an oil field. They're right smack dab in the middle of an oil field here. That's why these earthquakes are oil and gas fracking earthquakes. This is a 1.4. This is a 2.4. 2.4. This is 0.6 microquake. This is 1.3. But each and every one of these earthquakes are a result of oil and gas fracking operations. Okay, what is this here? What is this here? This is a recovery pond. Okay, they take treated sewage and they inject the treated sewage in the earth that is actually causing earthquakes. They inject this fluid into the earth to bring out oil and gas from the shale in this region. That's how they do it. That's why they have all these ponds here throughout this region. You see ponds almost everywhere. They're there for a reason. Okay? Now we go over further to the southwest here. Right here. Okay? See the swarms of earthquakes here? They happen every day. Every day. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. This is in southwestern Texas. I bring this down, you can see the border with New Mexico. USGS calls these White City, New Mexico. They're not. These earthquakes are in Texas. They are in Texas. That's a 2.1 earthquake. This is a 2.0. This is a 1.5. They have tremors and minor earthquakes here as a result of oil and gas fracking operations. Occasionally, I say occasionally, maybe once or twice a year, we might see a 5.0 large earthquake in this region. It happens. It will happen again. It will happen again. Okay? Over here in Southern California, right here, we have another earthquake just happened here. This is a 3.4 small earthquake. A 3.4 small earthquake, 153 kilometers southwest of Channel Islands Beach. Channel Islands Beach. You see Channel Island right there. Okay? Every week I show earthquakes on Channel Island. They happen. This earthquake is 3.4 earthquake. It's 153 kilometers off Channel Island here. Okay? 3.4 small earthquake here. They're only showing minor earthquakes over here in Southern California on land in Los Angeles. For example, this is Ojai over near Santa Barbara. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake here. This is a 2.0 near Fillmore, California. Going over here, Sylmar, California, is 0.9 microquake here. Go further to the south. Corona, California. We continue to have earthquakes here in Corona, California here. This is a 1.2 tremor here. This is 0.4 near Trabuco Canyon, California. Also in Orange County. This is 1.0 here. Home Gardens, California. This is just southeast of Corona. Okay? They only show a handful of earthquakes here in Los Angeles and Orange County. Every day there are over 400 earthquakes here in the greater LA area. 400 earthquakes. But you'll never see that here. Never see it here unless there's a major earthquake that happens here. The United States Geological Survey and all their political partners here in the greater Los Angeles area don't want anybody to know what's going on. They want everybody to believe that nothing's happening here. That's what they say. But let me tell you this. It's not true. It's not true. Off the coast of northern San Diego County, right here. This is another earthquake here, right there. This is a 2.0 earthquake east-northeast of San Clemente Island. East-northeast of San Clemente Island, right there. I took a boat over to San Clemente Island a lot of years ago. There's not a lot there, but a bunch of goats. Basically goats over here on San Clemente Island. The United States Navy uses it as target practice here. Target practice here. Right here. They use it as target practice here. And as you can see, they have an auxiliary landing strip here. They have an auxiliary landing strip here. But San Clemente Island is usually used for target practice. Okay? Going north here. Templeton, California, continues to shake. We've reported on earthquakes here in Templeton before. This is the 1.5 tremor nobody felt. Going north, right here. Tres Pinos, just southeast of Monterey Bay, 1.5 tremor. Going further north on the Hayward Fault. Gilroy, California, 1.5 tremor here. We go north again, right there. San Ramon, California. San Ramon, California continues to shake here. Go over here to San Francisco Bay. San Lorenzo, California, we have an 8.8, this is a 1.8 tremor. 1.8 tremor here in San Lorenzo, California. I probably got some blood going there. You heard me say 8, all of a sudden you said, Ron, there's no major earthquake there. No, there's not. There's not. As the Navy ship captains would say, steady she goes. Steady she goes. As I reported yesterday, over here near Santa Rosa, we're still having movement. We're still having movement. We're going to continue having movement here. Okay, this is over not on the Hayward-Rogers Fault. This is called the Bennett Fault off the Hayward-Rogers. However, these fault lines are still active. They're very active. On the Bennett fault line here, when we have earthquakes here, they're usually going to be twice a year. 4.0, 4.5 earthquakes. That's what we had here the other day. However, just out east of there on the Hayward Fault, just east of there we have the Hayward Fault. We can still have 6.7, 6.9, 7.0, and 7.5 earthquakes out here. It can still happen. It can still happen. And I believe it's going to. I believe it's going to. Further north here, these earthquakes are south of Clear Lake. Clear Lake here is a volcano. That's a volcano. We have earthquakes here because seismic energy comes off the Pacific Ocean, comes off the Pacific Plate here. The seismic energy finds these drill points. Drill points. Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano to obtain steam to generate electricity here in this facility. It's called the Geysers Geothermal Facility here. In the Geysers facility here, they have 81 different turbines here. 81 different turbines. The reason we have earthquakes here is that the seismic energy comes off the plate, comes over here to the North American plate, and hits these drill points. It hits these great big holes in the ground. Great big tunnels where we drilled in to obtain steam from the volcano. It finds these drill points and hits these drill points, causing earth movement, i.e. earthquakes. Earthquakes. Most of these earthquakes are just tremors. But yes, we have minor earthquakes, we've had small earthquakes, Occasionally, we will even have 4.5 earthquakes here in the geysers facility here. Okay, happens every day. Right here, you see multiple earthquakes here. Down here to the south, 0.8 microquake here. Right here. This is a 0.91.0 tremor here. Right here. This is a 2.3 minor earthquake. Just happened. These red earthquakes just happened within the last 30 minutes. This is a 1.0 tremor. This is a 0.6 microquake. And further down here to the south is a 0.8 microquake. Every one of these drill points causes earthquakes when seismic energy hits it. Okay? Every one of these drill points causes earthquakes when seismic energy hits it. Okay? Again, the earthquakes here are in the geysers facility. We have these turbines here that you see here all over this area. 81 different turbines all over this area. 81 turbines generate electricity here. Every one of these drill points, guys, every one of these drill points. For example, right here, just southwest of the turbine facility here, there are drill points. They go down in the ground from here all the way over to the volcano. They pull steam from the volcano. The drill points further that steam through PVC piping all the way over to the turbine facility to generate electricity here. Every day. Every day. That's what happens. All these roads have PVC pipe on the side of the roads carrying all the steam. Every day. Every day. Right here, there's another turbine facility right there. 81 different turbines all over this region. I just thought there was a turbine facility right there. I'm wrong. There are drill points right there. Those are what the drill points look like. Sometimes I can get close enough. Other times I can't get close enough. They won't let me get close enough. But you see the drill points right there. Do we have any questions? Any questions? No questions. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. I want to go up to the Pacific Northwest. Okay. There's a lot of activity up here. Offshore here. Offshore Pistol River, Oregon, right there. This is a small earthquake here. Notice where it's at. This is still in the Cascadia subduction zone region. Still in the Cascadia subduction zone region. Guys, This is still an earthquake. This is on the Gorda Ridge. The Gorda Ridge. This perpendicular line here is an earthquake fault called the Gorda Ridge. It hooks up to the north with the Blanco Fracture Zone. The Blanco Fracture Zone. To the south, it hooks up with the Gorda Escarpment. It runs over here to the Pacific coast. But before it hits there, it hits over here in the Triple Junction area. The Triple Junction, where the Cascadia Subduction Zone is, where the Gorda Escarpment is, and where the San Andreas Fault begins. The San Andreas Fault begins right here at the Triple Junction. Then the San Andreas Fault goes along the coastline all the way over into San Francisco. Then it goes further inland into California and continues its way down into northern Mexico from there. Now this San Andreas Fault is capable of triggering the Cascadia. And yet the Cascadia is thought to be able to only trigger the San Andreas. Now they are still expecting, they by meaning the scientists are still expecting the Cascadia to happen up here in the Pacific Northwest, right off the coast of Seattle-Tacoma area, here in the Cascadia region, between the Juan de Fuca Fault to the west, that zigzag fault off to the west, and the Cascadia Subduction Zone. It's going to be a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. As I said before, this earthquake is going to be felt all the way up into Alaska, all the way down to northern Mexico, and all the way across the entire United States, all the way across Canada as well. The North American plate is going to feel this earthquake, coast to coast, north to south. The Cascadia earthquake will ring bells in Washington, D.C., and up in Canada as well. The Cascadia earthquake will be a major shaker. The entire earth is going to ring from this earthquake. The entire earth is going to ring from this earthquake. Now, here in the Pacific Northwest, we have some problems. We have some real problems. I'm going to talk about those problems. I'm going to show you two videos showing what is exactly happening here in the Pacific Northwest in terms of moisture, in terms of rain, and extreme flooding. 100-year floods are happening now in this area, and the rain is not going to stop for a while. Let's talk about this now. Okay? Let's talk about it. It's a very serious situation. I want everybody to realize exactly what's happening here. This is nothing to scoff at. This is nothing to scoff at all. This area is being torn to pieces. This region from Washington down here into Oregon is being torn to pieces by the flooding. There's been historic rainfall and devastating floods here that have ravaged parts of the U.S. Pacific Northwest. And a second levee recently failed just south of Seattle. At the time that I put this together, many parts of western Washington were under some type of evacuation order. Weather forecasts call for more rainfall as a series of atmospheric rivers continue to affect the region. Atmospheric rivers are continuing to affect this region. It's a big deal. Huge deal. Okay? They're calling for more rain. The latest information on this is looming threats. This morning, the National Weather Service issued an important warning forecasters put out. Forecast flooding changed from minor to moderate severity. From minor to moderate severity in the following rivers in Washington. White River at the R Street Bridge, affecting Pierce and King counties. They also commented on dam operations. They continued, dam operations reduce flood pool for area dams. Will maintain elevated flow levels here. Elevated flow levels below the dams. New rainfall today and tonight will increase inflows into the reservoirs. In this part of the country, the convergence of extreme rainfall and water infrastructure is of constant concern. Constant concern here. That means it's going to continue. Often called the Pineapple Express. The region has experienced multiple rounds of atmospheric rivers. However, the Pineapple Express is a local name for an atmospheric river that transport moisture from Hawaii region of the Pacific Ocean out into the landmass here in Washington and Oregon. Atmospheric rivers actually exist in many places around the world. In 2010, an atmospheric river contributed to disastrous flooding in Nashville, Tennessee. And last year, a river-like plume was evident during Hurricane Helene. Remember Hurricane Helene? September and October last year? Very bad. Very, very bad. We suffered here in Morganton, North Carolina, where I was. Power's out for almost 2 days. The area was devastated. One of our friends lost their home in Hurricane Helene here in Morganton. Totally torn apart by 3 trees that fell on their home as a result of the winds from Hurricane Helene. NOAA's website, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration website, described the atmospheric rivers as relatively long, narrow regions of the atmosphere, like rivers in the sky, that transport most of the water vapor out of the tropics. A typical atmospheric river can carry an amount of water vapor similar to the average flow of water exiting the mouth of the Mississippi River. Imagine that. The average flow of water exiting the mouth of the Mississippi River is according to the atmospheric river here. The website went on to say, quote, exceptionally strong atmospheric rivers can transport up to 15 times that amount. Up to 15 times that amount. The atmospheric river here is transporting water in its gas phase. Its gas phase. Water vapor. However, as the axis of the river makes landfall, it's converted into liquid water or ice. Though hazardous, this has also been beneficial to the U.S. West Coast. This river has provided 30 to 50% of the precipitation for the West Coast in a year. 30% to 50% of the precipitation that the West Coast receives in a given year is happening now. Interestingly, that is provided by just a few atmospheric rivers. This has been hazardous. Because of the atmospheric river's impact, scientists, water supply managers, dam operators, policymakers, river risks. They're paying very close attention to atmospheric river risks. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego have developed a rating system. They've developed a rating system. Let me put that up here for you. I want you to see this. This is a rating system that the University of San Diego has come up with. This, okay? A Cat 5 hurricane. A Cat 5 hurricane. This, in this case, is the atmospheric river. A Cat 5 is primarily hazardous. A Cat 4 is mostly hazardous and beneficial. They just got through saying this water, this atmospheric river, has been hazardous but beneficial. A Cat 3, the balance of hazardous and beneficial. A Cat 2, primarily beneficial, also hazardous. A Cat 1 is primarily beneficial. Exceptional in the red, extreme in the yellow, brown, red area here, strong between the yellow and brown area, moderate between the green and yellow area, and weak over here in the blue and green area. The bottom is not an atmospheric river, but the top is. Now, according to a press release from the University of San Diego, the scale averages from AR1 atmospheric river 1 to AR5. The events expected over the next few days will likely peak in the AR4 region. The events expected over the next few days are going to likely peak in the AR4 region, with threats to levees and dams. The Forecast Informed Reservoir Operations Project is worth highlighting. It is a partnership between local municipalities, California state agencies, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and UC San Diego Scripps Institution of Oceanography. Okay? According to the CW3E website, the goal of FIRO, the Washington, Oregon, California state agencies, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, UC San Diego Scripps Institute of Oceanography, and Western Weather and Water Extremes. FIRO is to develop and demonstrate and implement tools and science that will enable more effective management of reservoirs by leveraging improvements in weather and water forecasts. They're trying to create a natural linkage between research applications and technology in reservoir operations and water control manuals to enable continuous improvements based on the state of the science. Why is this a challenge? Infrastructure, particularly reservoirs and dams, are at risk from extreme climate variability and change. The FIRO website went on to say, more frequent and greater extremes in flooding and droughts are likely. More frequent and greater extremes in floods and droughts are likely. Adapting to this new paradigm of climatic uncertainty and extremes will require new approaches to water management, including more efficient operations of our existing dams and reservoirs. Much of the United States infrastructure was built under the assumption of stationary, which means the design assumed rainstorms of the past 50 years would be exactly the same as the rainstorms of today and the future, which has not been true. Not been true at all. Dr. Brian Bledsoe and his students at the University of Georgia for Resilient Infrastructure Systems found that poor assumptions about stationary degrade the reliability of flood protection and require reassessment by jurisdictions of all scales. Yeah, reassessment by jurisdiction. That's because what has happened in the past is not happening now. It's completely different. Beyond dam breaches near Seattle, the barrage of atmospheric rivers in recent days has increased the threat of flooding and landslides in this region. Residents should pay attention to the National Weather Service and all local authorities throughout the week for guidance and information. Again, this atmospheric river is going to continue for several more days at least. Even our own EMA family has been experiencing this, guys. They have. Let's talk about this. Our own EMA family's been experiencing this. One of our family members has a brother that lives near Seattle, Washington, Unumclaw. His property flooded. They had to get around in the boat. Water's receded but left a lot of mud, so he hasn't been able to drive out of it. Unfortunately, more rain is coming. The ground is already saturated, so it does not look good for the next few days for him and his neighbors. One of my own cousins lives near the Snohomish River. She writes, "We're okay, but it's a mess outside. We're waterlogged far enough away from the river, but the roads are closed. But we are prepared. We also know where the lahars will go when Rainier erupts. So many towns are evacuated. R. Jacob works for East Louis County. He closes the roads and moves trees that are blocking the roads. He goes to work at 2 a.m. till the evening. He tries to clear drainage as well. We in the county are blessed to have him. The geese are happy to have a new, larger pond to be in. The 150-year-old trees are flooded, so we are praying that they hold up and not hit our house. Those trees are huge." That is what my cousin is saying. This is a huge problem. This here is a huge problem throughout this entire area. This is not going to stop. Not anytime soon. First, let me show you what has been going on in Oregon, right here.
All right, welcome back in. We got to talk about our severe weather happening this week. We have meteorologist Dave Selesky here with us, and I know that you've just issued a Storm Tracker 2 weather alert for this. Yeah. We're going to be getting into that in a second. First, I want to talk about the situation in Washington versus Southwest Washington and Oregon. I know that they have levee breaks going on up there. Very serious situation. What's the difference between there and here?
Well, they got pounded by that atmospheric river last week. We had a hit out of it, just a glancing blow, if you will, but it went up there and it parked itself for a couple of days up over western Washington. Rivers rose. You've seen the damage from the slides going on, the power outages, and again, the highways. And again, so all that water has to go somewhere. It's going into area rivers and streams, and it's rising. And they had a levee break today on the Green River, which is near Seattle in a major populated area, and they had several thousand people evacuated.
Thinking of everybody in Washington that's dealing with that, and look closer to home here in Oregon. I know that all day you've been talking about soil saturation.
Right. I mean, when you were a kid, you played in the mud, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So at some point, you have dirt and you put a lot of water into it, and it becomes mud, it becomes very loose.
And you can move it around easily.
And you put a steep slope, which we have a lot of in Western Oregon and in Western Washington, and you can get these landslides where whole hillsides will just let go. We've got a big one down in Siletz River on the Oregon coast.
I want to ask with that, I know we've been talking about that, the sites of that are incredible, but are we going to get more landslides, do you think?
Very possible. We'll see more landslides. We've got a lot more rain coming online now tonight, just some scattered showers, but the rain really begins to pick up late tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, going into Wednesday. Overnight tomorrow night, we're going to see heavy rain over much of the area. This is the month of December so far. Up until yesterday, 5.45 inches of rain. For the first 14 days, we're over 2.5 inches above average. And get a load of this. We're going to add in today's total on top of that. So another 7/10 goes into the buckets. Today's rainfall for the 15th. Up in Vancouver, they picked up 2/3 of an inch of rain, over 1/2 of an inch in Hillsborough. Corbett, up on the western side of the gorge, picked up almost a full inch of rain in the last 24 hours. And yes, there is more on the way, a lot more on the way. Now, radar right now, it's pretty quiet, as you can see. This is like over the last few hours, been seeing some showers moving on through. Things are kind of quieting down right now, Barry, but again, the next wave out of this system rolls in here late tomorrow afternoon, and our computer models are, as you can see, predicting a lot of rain. Let's go in from now Tuesday. We'll run you in now up into Tuesday night, and from Tuesday night, this is the next 24 hours, maybe another anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain possible. Much more coming in on Wednesday. I've seen some models suggesting that by Wednesday evening, maybe another 2 to 2.5 inches of rain around the area.
Okay, lots of rain.
Yep.
Getting into the ground, that's going to be a concern for a lot of folks. We'll be following that. I also know that you're tracking a lot of high winds that are coming in, and it's a whole other
So we're going to go to the graphic on that right now. We'll pick this one up for you. This is all the watches and warnings we have across the area. So basically, starting tomorrow, we have high wind watches for the Oregon coast. We have a high wind watch also up in portions of the Columbia Basin and in central Oregon. Wind gusts tomorrow out in the Columbia Basin could be pushing 60 to 65 miles an hour. The green area you see, it's going to be a flood watch going up for all of western Oregon, including the coast range, Willamette Valley, and up into the Cascades for rain, rising rivers again, and we get in towards late Wednesday and Thursday. Another atmospheric river rolls across the area for yet even more rain. And then guess what? Today, a record-setting day for temperatures.
I had a feeling it was really, really warm outside today.
So we hit 61 today here in Portland, breaks the old record of 59. Salem reached 60, tied the record of back in 1976. Hillsborough 63, Vancouver 62, all new records for the date, by the way. Gotcha. So far for the month of December, besides being very wet, it's also been very, very mild. We're running almost 8 degrees above average. Our normal high temperature for December this time of year should be 47. Our overnight lows haven't even been that cool.
We had 61 today. Crazy to think about. I know. Talking about high temperatures makes this next pivot a little bit strange. Okay. You're tracking snow at the end of the week. And I know that there's, with the season in the Mount Hood, there's a lot of people that are following this.
It's going to be a crazy week. So today we start out with temperatures in the 60s. By the end of the week, we'll see temperatures for highs locally into the 40s. The snow levels, which today were at about 8,000 feet, and I was up on Mount Hood at Timberline Lodge on Friday. Nothing up there at all. Bare pavement.
You think it could be a completely different situation a week from today?
By Friday, we're going to have snow at the 3,500 foot level.
Wow.
By Sunday, we'll have snow down to the 2,500 foot level. So a lot of folks obviously traveling over the next weekend.
Yeah, mountain passes are going to be a mess, sounds like.
Every mountain pass is going to have snow on them. Some of the snow in the Washington Cascades could see feet of snow. Heading down into California to the Siskiyous, snow there as well.
Okay. All right, Dave.
Okay, that's what's going to happen, guys. That's what's going to happen. That's a forecast. That's a forecast. You can guarantee this is going to happen. Okay, we've seen it happen. It's going to continue. It's not going to go away. Let's talk about flooding in Washington now. Let's go over here.
My 2 German Shepherds going crazy, and I'm like, what's going on? My wife wakes me up. She's like, something's going on. So I step outside, and very vaguely I hear, evacuation, and I'm like, you're still trying to wake up. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you can say that again. Probably one of the worst ways to wake up. Breaking overnight, a flood barrier giving way, sending floodwaters rushing into the town of Pacific, into homes and businesses. You see people wading through it this morning. We've been watching rescues happening this morning as people scrambled to get out of their homes in the dead of night.
We have live team coverage on every angle of this latest breach in King County this morning. This time in the town of Pacific, you're looking at one flooding area on the left, an evacuation center on the right where people have been coming and going and running to safety there with their pets and kids. A rare flash flood warning issued there, which is still in effect until about 7:45 this morning, so about 45 minutes to go. Thanks so much for getting with us on a busy Tuesday morning. I'm Steve McCarran in for Holly Menino.
I'm Kelly Koopmans. Because of the flash flood warning and evacuations in the city of Pacific that are ongoing now, we are staying on over Good Morning America and simulcasting on our sister station, ARC-CW. For the very latest on the storms and the threat of water to come, meteorologist George Waldenberger has more on the flash flood warning. It's extremely rare around here, but we have now had 3 in a matter of days. all because of flooding, including our infrastructure.
And let's be clear, there's not a lot of rain falling right now. This is from active river flooding and a failure of the network or the system around the levee. This time it was the White River near Pacific. The rain is only spotty. Still, it is falling around Tacoma. We have ongoing flood warnings for the Green, White, and Cedar rivers. And right in the middle of that, there's that flash flood warning until 7:45 this morning for the Pacific area because of that levee system failure. There are numerous other flood warnings, including the Skagit River. At Mount Vernon, this is already rising near moderate flood stage again right now and should peak by either tomorrow or Thursday afternoon or evening at 34 feet, which would be just under what we had last week with that historic flooding. You'll get that peak or that crest a little earlier in Concrete, which is farther upstream. But coming up, though, I do want to walk you through the showers that are falling now, how they build through the day, when they transition more to mountain snow, and the winds you'll also experience coming up in the next 24 hours. Steve.
All right, George, thank you. Let's get back to that breaking situation we've been tracking all morning out of the city of Pacific and King County. Just a stunning situation unfolding while most people were sleeping.
And just chilling hearing that emergency broadcast, knowing this was not a test and that people in Pacific needed to get out of their homes immediately after the White River flood infrastructure called the HESCO barrier gave way in the dead of night. We have crews fanned out across Pacific in King County. We want to begin with KOMO's Natalie Fahmy with what we know about what happened overnight. Natalie?
Kelly, Steve, yeah, several neighbors tell me all of a sudden they woke up because they heard helicopters, like you said, telling them to evacuate, kind of jumped out of bed, still waking up a little bit, only to find all this water. Crews came and evacuated about 100 people. No injuries reported this morning. I'll step out here so you can see what we're looking at. Way back in the back, that's where the levee broke and the second emergency wall as well. Now crews are using sandbags to try and block the water from coming further onto the street here. We had a lot of heavy machinery on this street earlier. They've moved around to the other side of the street as well. But I'll tell you, this water has seeped into the neighborhood quickly. Again, 100 people evacuated. Neighbors tell me it was scary this morning hearing the helicopters telling them to get out. They say they are concerned that the levee failed and were shocked to see just how much water came rushing through. We know, again, 100 people have been evacuated this morning. This has been a very active scene all morning long. Several emergency response teams here. Neighbors who have lived here for more than a decade tell me they have never seen anything like this before. When you came over here and saw all this water, what was your thought?
Wow, it was going to be hard. It was going to be hard. There's a lot of houses around here, so we'll hope the rain stops and, yeah, everybody gets safe.
Well, I basically bought this roof over.
Okay, hold on a second. I can't let that commercial go.
The overwhelming sentiment from neighbors this morning is that they just really hope that their neighbors are safe and are hoping for the safety of everyone. Was just thinking about how when it's dark outside, you can see there's a lot of water and it looks like it's probably pretty bad. But when that sun comes up, we'll really have a good idea of just how far this spans, how much water there is in these neighborhoods this morning. Live in Pacific, I'm Natalie Fahmy, KOMO News.
What a morning for so many and tough to see, but looks like they have that work underway now to try and keep some of those waters at bay. We'll check back later, Natalie. Thank you. Let's get to KOMO's Tyra Major. She's been talking to people that had to be rescued or evacuated overnight. Thankfully, now have a nice dry space to be. Tyra, what are you hearing from them?
That's exactly what the Pacific Senior Center has been for people this morning, Kelly. A nice, dry space. They're making pancakes in there, serving coffee, making sure people feel at home in such a stressful time. You just heard Natalie say people were literally woken up in the middle of the night, sometime between 1 and 2 a.m., either by a chopper above their homes or by a loud emergency system there on their phone. Some people describe that sound to me as kind of like an Amber Alert, but this place is packed. The entire parking lot is filled with cars Pires right now, and this isn't the only place with or operating shelter. Just up north, there's a shelter as well, the Auburn Community Center. That's another place where people are going. But like I mentioned, people arrived here with what they could essentially carry, either bags. Some people had nothing at all. Many pets are in here, dogs, cats, lots of kids. The kids are so tired this morning. You can just feel for them, not knowing when they'll be able to go back home, go back into their beds. A lot of the kids in here, I spoke with some of their families, and they said that their school's either on a delayed start, but they probably won't even go to school at all just because of the stress of the situation. A lot of them not knowing how bad the flooding would get. Here's a listen at what one woman told me this morning.
I got an alert. We got an alert to evacuate at 1:48. Never happened to me before. As long as I've lived in this area, or in this state, actually.
Yeah, this has been an all-hands-on-deck situation. Neighbors helping neighbors. They described that evacuation alert once again as just something so loud and so blaring. Once again, back here at the senior center, people have been coming and going all morning. There's also been a round of buses coming through to help people take them to higher ground, other areas in that community center I mentioned. That's also a place for safe refuge in the Auburn area. Live in Pacific, Tyra Majors, KOMO News.
I mean, you think about the flash flood warning that happened in Tukwila yesterday, and that happened in broad daylight. This is a whole nother level of having it happen just in pitch black in the middle of the night, Tyra. Our hearts go out to those people. We'll be thinking of them. Thank you.
7:08 now, and new this morning from the Live Desk, we are working to learn the identity of a 33-year-old man who was pulled from their vehicle during a water rescue in Snohomish early this morning. That man did not survive. This happened at around 1:30 this morning along Marsh Road. Just last hour, the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office posting some new information about exactly what happened, telling us that driver, the 33-year-old man, reportedly drove past some road closure signs at Lowell Larimer Road and Marsh Road, and then went north on Marsh Road into an area of road that remains flooded. We're told that his vehicle left the road, entered a lower farmland or ditch area containing approximately 6 feet of water. When deputies got to that scene, they found the vehicle in the water. We know that fire rescue swimmers contacted the vehicle, so they found it, went up to it, removed the driver from the car, which was completely submerged in water. We know that CPR was performed on that man's body, but sadly he did not survive. All we know about that victim this morning is that he's a 33-year-old man. Don't know where he's from. There was nobody else inside the vehicle. We are working to learn if this may be the first flooding-related death as a result of the weather conditions we've seen over the past week. Certainly would change things with the first death reportedly out of Snohomish. We're looking into that right now, and hopefully we'll be able to confirm that here in the next couple of hours.
Businesses north of Pacific in Tukwila are drying out this morning. Crews temporarily repaired a breach there at a levee along the Green River. All evacuations were lifted in an industrial park last night. King County leaders say the area is still not out of the woods yet, with more rain expected over the next few days. They say flooding is still a real threat, especially as water saturates the ground and puts pressure on local levees.
All right, let's bring in meteorologist George Waldenberger and sort of talk about what's next. We talked about that situation in Pacific this morning with our crews down there leading to evacuations, rescues, that sort of thing. What happens now?
Okay, so we'll continue to watch the rivers, the Green, the White River, even the Cedar River down there. They'll flow at very high rates at least through tomorrow. Okay, that's because we get another push of rain tonight through tomorrow morning. Now later this week, the outlook is for river levels to come down and flow rates to come down as well, because we'll get some colder air. That means more mountain snow as opposed to mountain rains that just run off into the rivers. So right now we're waiting for that final push of rain, and most areas are damp without any rain falling. There are some spotty showers, some light rain in spots, even some mist, but we have one storm system down and one to go. And notice it comes with a cold front. This one will be more successful at bringing colder air in. So the rest of the week will be colder, and that means colder in the mountains and snow as opposed to mountain rain, but it will come with strong winds and, believe it or not, even a risk of thunderstorms. So when the rain picks up later today, there is a chance of a line of thunderstorms with lightning or maybe even gusty winds as it passes this evening. Between the time you get home from work and you go to bed, you put the kids to bed, maybe some lightning flashes and a quick inch of rain in Seattle, and we could double or triple that in the mountains before the cold front sweeps in, drops the temperatures in the mountains, and that transitions to snow all the way down to 2,000 feet. That, of course, helps us out because it keeps some of that moisture from running into the rivers. For now, though, the rain is just isolated for the drive to work. And, of course, we have ongoing river flooding around King County. We have also the Skykomish River near Gold Bar, which at this point is forecast to crest moderate stage tomorrow morning. And the Snohomish River at both Snohomish and Monroe forecast to crest at moderate stages tomorrow afternoon. We'll let you know if these forecasts change hour by hour. Again, the showers pick up through the morning. I would plan on areas of rain during the lunch hour, and I would bet on it for the after-school pickups and the drive home with it getting heavy in spots. Then this evening, just look at the widespread rain moving in. There will be some downpours this evening. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, though, a lot of this is already gone. But the winds are going to be gusty. Some areas are under a high wind warning, and it will be probably rocking on the ferries if you plan on taking them this evening. If you saw.
Okay, that's the story. Does anybody have any questions for me in regards to what this storm's going to do? This is a big one. This is a huge one, guys. It's not stopping. It's literally not stopping. Okay, this is going to go on for several more days until we get close to the weekend, when we're going to see colder temperatures, and that's going to bring snow to the upper mountain ranges of Rainier, St. Helens, and also to Mount Hood. Okay, we're going to see snow in the mountains down to 2,000 feet. That's going to alleviate some of this runoff, which is going to let these rivers subside at least for a while. Okay, but for now, this atmospheric river is going to still continue for the next 2 days. We're going to continue talking about this. We're going to continue covering this as the week goes on. If anything gets worse or even better, we're going to be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. We always do that. Always, no matter what. If something major happens, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as we find out about it, so everybody's aware of it. Okay? Now, in closing, I want to tell you this. I love each and every one of you. I tell you that all the time. Okay? But now I'm going to ask you for a favor. I'm asking you for a favor. We have 8 more days until Christmas Eve. This is December 16th. We have 8 more days to Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, we have a special Christmas program that we have every year. This year, I want to incorporate all of you. I would ask that all of you utilize your emails and your text messages to send me information about your family. I will compile all this information into our Christmas program. That way I can talk about each one of you. If you want to send me a video or a verbal message, you can do that as well. I'll put that on the air if you want me to do that. But primarily this can be an email, or you can send me, we can send us, Carol and I, a message in the mail, a card and or a letter telling us how you celebrate Christmas, what you do in your family, what you do in your home, what you do leading up to Christmas. We'd really like to know that. Send us a letter or a card telling us what you do. You have 8 days to get that to us. You have maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 days to think about it and send it, and 5 days for it to get here. But we'd like to see that on Christmas Eve. We want all of your letters to arrive before Christmas Eve so we can put them on the air. Okay? We'd like to hear from all of you what you do. Whether or not you're here in the U.S. or whether you're in England, Sweden, Scotland, Norway, Denmark, Ireland, wherever. We want to hear from you. So please send us that mail to 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. You can also know that our zip code is 28655. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Zip code here is 28655. Love to hear from you guys. Morganton, North Carolina. Our email address is rltnspdema@gmail.com. Also, guys, if you want to help support this program, I haven't seen any super chats here, but if you want to support this program, you can support us by sending donations to our PayPal. You see 2 PayPal links going across the bottom of your screen as well. Also, I noticed Demon Catman, bless you, Dean, for this. Thanks for doing it. Please, guys, think about this. Think about helping support this program. You can join as a member to our program. Just below this video here, you have a link to support this program. Our buddy Demon Catman has been putting it up in the chat, but just below this video today, in the top of our program description, you can find a link to support this program. For as little as $1.99 all the way up to $2.99, you can help support this program. Okay? Join as a member of our program. We'd appreciate it as well. Okay? We love you guys. We really do. We love you very much. Now, we are approaching Christmas. As I have talked about this, we can make this a preparedness Christmas. We can make this a preparedness Christmas. Give preparedness gifts to your family members, your friends and neighbors, the people you care about. Give preparedness gifts, flashlights, AM, FM, weather radios, or even freeze-dried food, or whatever you decide you want to help somebody with. Send those presents. Send them preparedness presents and tell them in a letter why you love them and why you think preparedness is important. That way you're helping them prepare for an emergency or disaster in their family. That would be greatly appreciated by them and also us. Okay? We do this here. This is what Emergency Management Associates is, helping each other, loving each other. Okay? So please do that for us. Okay? Now, as the evening progresses, I give you a spiritual thought, a devotional, if you will. Now, guys, this is Jesus Christ. We're about to celebrate his birth. It's high time for all of us to get in the Christmas spirit, to have a more spiritual attitude about life, to lift us all up. That's what Christmas is all about, lifting each other up. Guys, I want to go here into Matthew. I want to go over to Matthew. Christ taught, bring the children to me. He blessed the children. In Matthew 19, then were there brought unto him little children, that he should put his hands on them and pray, and the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, suffer the little children, and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. And laid his hands on them, and departed thence. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life? And the Savior answered him. He said unto him, Why call me thou good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. And he said unto him, Which? Jesus said, Thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother. Then thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And the young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth. What lack I yet? Jesus said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell all that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And then come and follow me. Come follow me. That's what the Savior told each one of us, to follow him. Obey the commandments, endure to the end, and come follow me, the Savior said. Let's do that. Let's make sure all of our efforts this holiday season are meant and show our love for the Savior. And let's follow him. Let's do the things that the Savior would have us do and follow him. Brothers and sisters, I love you. God lives. God lives. We love him. Jesus Christ is our Savior, our Lord and King. Let's honor him, especially this season, by helping our fellow man and helping our family members return to heaven. All of us. Heaven would not be heaven without you, beside me. Heaven would not be heaven without our family. So let's bring each other together. Let's love each other more. Let's do those things that would bring us to heaven. May God be with you this night, this day. Like I said, if anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the emergency messages get to us. Until then, I hope you have a good night, a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Laugh, smile, enjoy. Be safe. Obey the commandments and endure to the end. Have a good night, everyone. I love you very much. We'll see you on the other side. Take care, guys. Do know that you're loved. Take care. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching